bringing you the latest news from Lubbock Cooper Athletics. This is the Pirate Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back into the high school fan zone on Wednesday night. We're going to jump into the Pirate Fan Zone with Will Flemons, the boys basketball coach, here in just a minute. I'm going to run through the football schedule before I forget. On the Raymar airwaves, Thursday night, Monterey's at home against El Paso Bel Air, 6 p.m. kickoff. That's on 93.7 The Eagle. The Lubbock Cooper Pirates hit the road for Canutillo, Texas, right outside of El Paso. I almost said New Mexico because it's so close to being in New Mexico over there. 7 p.m. kickoff right here on 100.7 The Score. Idalou is at home. Idalou's playing at Liberty against Tulia in a Class 3A by-district playoff game. That's a 5:30 kickoff on Sunny 97.7 FM. Friday night, Friendship Tigers are at home against El Paso Montwood, 6:30 p.m. on Double T 97.3 FM. Estacado's not on our airwaves, but they play Fort Stockton, 7 p.m. at the Mustang Bowl in Andrews. Nick Long will have the call there. We'll go back. There's a couple of six-man games, one in town, one in Longview. Could you imagine having to go to a first-round playoff game and have to get on the bus and go to Longview, Texas?
It's a long ways.
That's the world of TAPS.
Yes, it is.
Now, you used to be the Wayland Baptist women's coach, so I know you've got some bus miles on you.
Oh, yes, we do.
I was just the All Saints volleyball coach, Jen Platten, was an assistant coach at Frank Phillips.
Yep.
And she was talking about some of the bus trips she had. Oh, yeah. She didn't ride; she drove.
Oh, yes, yes.
Did you?
We used to drive to Oklahoma City all the time because Oklahoma City, Oklahoma Christian, they're all in our league. We drove.
Now, did you drive or ride?
I drove.
That's what I thought.
Oh yeah.
There's a little bit different budgets. Bill Self ain't driving no buses.
No, sir.
If he's driving a bus, there's a problem. Neither's Grant McCaslin anymore.
Correct.
So, well, it's good to see you, my man. We were talking before we came on here. You guys are 2-0.
Yes, sir.
You've not been very kind to Pampa or Greenwood.
You know how it goes. Right now, we've got a little bit of a groove. We're shooting the ball pretty well and playing some pretty good on-ball defense. Or off-ball defense needs a little work, but we got enough pressure that we're just getting to turn the ball over, and we're cashing in on it right now.
And you have some guys back.
I do.
You still got a couple of guys that are playing tomorrow night. I know Cade Gant and I think James Wright told me that maybe Deuce. Maybe
Darius, or maybe Reed Waters. I'm going to take about 3 of those guys from the football team when the football's over. Hopefully they have a little bit longer to play, but when it's done, we'll take about 3. It'll bring us up to 12 players. And
Corey Lynch came on a few weeks ago, and I was telling him how I enjoyed watching his son on the football field, but I liked watching him in basketball too because he cleared a swath.
Yes. I'm telling you, I'm all about recruiting offensive linemen or defensive linemen. They cleared out, and they're not afraid to use their body.
And I know there's no more Marcinkowskis.
Oh, we have a little one.
Is there? Is there still one coming?
Will is a freshman standing about 6'2", and he's playing on my freshman team and my JV team right now until football's over. We can get those JV teams established, and then we'll just keep all those freshmen together. We got a pretty good freshman group.
I didn't know there was one. Is he a tight end in football too?
He is.
It's like the family business. But you couldn't get the younger Hendricks. You couldn't convince him to stay.
Couldn't get him to stay. That'd be a nice little asset to have there. But
because that's an impressive young man.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
He came in with Joe Sexton the other day, and he's a physical, good physical, and he's also a confident young man.
Yes.
What Parker Hicks introduced me to him this summer, and the first thing he said, well, I got to start we've got to have a better inside presence, and that starts with me. And I kind of looked at him like, oh, yeah. All right, well, sounded like a young Will Flemons.
He's pretty skilled. I got a chance to see him play a lot last year, and I was like, man, that'd be nice, him and Will Marcinkowski on the same team. But I get it. We got to spread the wealth around a little bit.
Well, and it's going to take a while before all of that settles out.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how each school will be affected. I think 2 or 3 years from now it'll even out. And Jay Northcutt, the Friendship football coach, and I were talking. I think eventually you'll have a couple of Cooper teams, a couple of Friendship teams, and the LISD teams, and The bus trips there won't be as many of them.
That would be nice. That would be nice, just in-house.
Well, we'll jump right into it. That's not the case this year in your district.
No,
this year this is as good a boys basketball district as
really
there has been out here for a while, because it's 4 Lubbock teams, 4 El Paso teams, and Plain. Or I'm sorry, I've got El Paso on my mind. 4 Amarillo teams,
right,
and Plainview.
Yes, sir.
And that, first of all, that the level of competition is good.
Oh, it has gone up. We're talking about this in this situation where we're talking. One of the coaches, we're going to have some good teams that not make the playoffs.
Yep.
And, you think about that, it's going to be a dogfight every night. Who knows how it's going to end up. Amarillo's the front runners, but Tascos is good. You got Polladera is good. Monterey here in town's good. You got, hopefully we're playing in that mix somewhere, but any given night, Lubbock High, Coronado, Plainview, Caprock, they can beat you. If you don't bring your A game, you're going to get beat.
And not only is it a grind, but that grind starts pretty quick.
December 3rd.
Yeah.
December 3rd.
You get how many more games before then?
We got a tournament this week and 2 more games after that, and then it just kind of rolls in.
And then you take a break for Caprock, but the rest of the way. So it's every district season kind of, Friendships district's a little bit easier. It's a little bit more compact. But your district, you're going to be playing from December 3rd to basically the end of February. So
yes, sir.
You guys have I've mentioned this to you before. Your teams always get a little bit better, and you're playing really well by the time district ends.
Well, we try. By the time our football team gets through playing, usually trying to implement those football guys and get them acclimated as quickly as possible. This year it may not be the case. I mean, we may be in district before we get those guys,
yep.
And then we got to acclimate those guys because we're going to need them. The style of play we have to play this year, we don't have the size we usually have, but we have some skill players. So we got to use our skill players a lot differently and trying to force the tempo a little bit.
Well, we're going to talk about that because you've changed just from your first season here to last season. I think I talked to you about that a couple of times last year, how different it was as you guys kind of evolved and guys got used to you and what you expected and everything. We'll come back and talk more about Lubbock Cooper boys basketball after the break on the Pirate Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score. Reminder, the Pirate football team on the road at Canutillo tomorrow in a 5A Division II by-district playoff game right here on 100.7 The Score. That will be with Tommy Wood, Chuck Darden, and one of the Taylors. There's several Taylors that do color. I'm not sure which Taylor will be doing it. We'll be back after the break on 100.7 The Score.
Bringing you the latest news from Lubbock Cooper Athletics. This is the Pirate Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back into the Pirate Fan Zone on a Wednesday night. I need to remind folks of this before I forget. There will be no Monday High School Fan Zone next Monday because I believe the Cowboys play on Monday night and Texas Tech basketball plays on Monday night. So one of them will jump onto 100.7 The Score next Monday. So no High School Fan Zone, no Coronado and no Estacado next week. We'll pick them back up actually after Thanksgiving because the following week, Thanksgiving, there will be no High School Fan Zone any night. So you're the next to last guest here for a while. So 2-0. You head to which you go to a tournament, the HEB.
HEB. It's with LD Bell and Trinity. So it's a good tournament. We play LD Bell first, and then second round we will play Plano West.
Oh wow! And
then it's like I can't remember the other team right off the bat, but I'm focused on LD Bell right now. But it's going to be a very competitive type of a tournament, so that's good. And we had to kind of change it up a little bit. If we're going to compete in our district, we need to play some teams like that.
And you're a guy. I bring you up all the time. I talk about you in a good way because you've coached at so many different levels and in so many different parts of the state.
Yes, sir.
You understand that the need to see different kinds of basketball.
You do. I mean, you think about it. Amarillo High last year they went to state. Okay, they do a tremendous job. I think Pillion does a tremendous job. those teams that, as you know, east of here, 35 is the ones that you're going to have to beat if you want to bring home some gold. You might as well get introduced to their style of play, how the refs are going to call it, so you can get familiar, and then it just brings some toughness to your kids. You know, when you get here, you know, Emerald High understands that tremendously. Palladius understands that. We, as a program, has to understand that. If we want to grow and continue to move forward, that's my goal. Is we got to continue to move forward and keep stepping up each game.
And you took a step forward last year.
We did.
You got to the playoffs and you won a bi-district game for the first time in your tenure, which is a big deal.
Yes, it is.
Was it Plainview you beat?
We beat Plainview, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. We, you know, and that's the thing. We when you go back and you look at the history of Lubbock Cooper, the last time that before, you know, I got here, it was when they were 3A.
There was a pretty good coach there.
Yeah, at Gomez, he did a pretty good
Gomez.
job.
Yeah.
And, you know, for us, and let me knock on wood. I hope this is real wood. You know, I've been in the playoffs every year. Last year was the first time that we won the first game and we got beat the second game. But we're starting to make progress. We're starting to understand it. We're starting to understand, okay, each game, all you need to do is just bring your best ball. Each game. And that's all you can ask for. Play your best, give it all you got. Are you going to make mistakes? Absolutely. That's part of the game.
You tied for the district championship last year, correct?
Yes, sir.
Which was also a first as a 5A.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, I mean, we you know, a lot of different things that hadn't happened. We kind of broke into the barrier area a little bit, and it kind of felt good. I told us it feels good to have a chance to win. Let's make it become contagious year in and year out, not just here and then be gone for like 10 years. Let's make it contagious.
Well, and to be honest, you guys have been in the hunt somehow or another every year you've been here. You said you've been to the playoffs every year. And I mentioned the thing that always strikes me with you guys is you're getting better as the season comes to an end, which is why there was a playoff bi-district game against Randall a few years ago. I'm not going to pick too many scabs, but I know there's a picture on my website in here that we could bring up, and I don't want to get Kelly Robinson and Oscar Shorten and guys like that mad at me, but you lost the game.
Oh, yes.
But what did the Utah AD get in trouble for this week when he said, we won the game, but somebody took it away from us? That's what happened, and that, like I said, I've got pictorial proof of it if they want to argue too much about it. But that was a really good Randall team.
It was.
Coached by the late, great Leslie Broadhurst.
Absolutely.
So you guys have been there. Now, one year you also ran into a really good Amarillo High team, and you played them off their feet for about a half, 2.5 quarters.
Yeah. You know, and one thing about Amarillo, you know what they're going to do. Sometimes you can't stop it.
Right.
We just got to make sure that we limit our mistakes and continue to battle. And that's kind of what it is. I mentioned this earlier, every district game is going to be a battle. Every one,
and there's 18 of them?
Yes, sir.
18 of them. That's what the Pirates are getting ready to get into. They've got some work to do here before they head to the tournament in San Antonio.
It's a tournament in Dallas.
Okay. It's HEB, always think San Antonio. But they're on the road, then come back for a couple of tough games. I just opened up your schedule. We'll talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
We'll come back for the final segment of the Pirate Fan Zone after this break. One more reminder, Lubbock Cooper football on the road in the first round at Canutillo. 7 p.m. our time on 100.7 The Score, and we'll be back on that exact station.
Breaking down Lubbock Cooper sports. This is the Pirate Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back into the final segment of the Pirate Fan Zone. I want to remind you again what I just mentioned. There will be no high school fan zone on Monday. No Coronado, no Mustang fan zone, no Matador fan zone, because Texas Tech and the Dallas Cowboys both are in action. A lot of people will be listening to the Red Raiders. I don't want to get in trouble with any advertisers. If you're listening to the Cowboys, Godspeed to you at that point. I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan, so I can talk a little bit of trash. Now, your Red Raiders, though, of course, if you don't know, Will Flemons is, I'm going to make him blush here, if there's a list of the 5 best players that ever put on a red and black uniform for Texas Tech, this guy's on the list, on anybody's list that you talk to. 2-time All-Southwest Conference Player of the Year.
Very fortunate. Very fortunate.
Played for both Gerald Miners and James Dickey, so got a taste of very different worlds.
Yes,
coached
sir.
for James Dickey, has coached at Wayland Baptist, has coached at Paducah.
Yes, sir.
Of course, if you go to Paducah, if you can walk down the street and not find about 8 people named Flemons, you're not trying hard enough. But your Red Raiders, they're playing right now, I believe, against Wyoming, and he's got them off to Grant McCaslin has them off to a good start as well.
Grant's done a tremendous job on the recruiting aspect of it, and he's got some guys that's so important to have some guys that are interested in doing what the coach asks them to do.
Yes.
And they're playing hard and they're playing his style of play. I loved it the other day when I got a chance to watch him play, and he was, he's up 15 or 20 or so. And he still was unhappy because they weren't playing good defense.
Yep.
Weren't playing good defense, and that's true. You can always find something, and they weren't playing the way he wanted to, and they made that adjustment.
Their conference got bigger and better as well. So they added some guys in that conference, and that's men and women. Now, are you contemporary with Brandon Schneider in any way, the KU women's coach?
I'm not.
It's I believe he grew up in Canyon because Dad was the coach there, and then played with Tony Wagner at
Right.
Wayland.
Right.
And he's done some good things up there. That women's conference is no joke there either.
It's brutal. It's very brutal. From top to bottom, just the basketball scene and what the conferences from Lubbock and they're in it's amazing, and that's what you want. If you're a young high school player, you get a chance to see that and follow that. If that didn't give you the urge, I want to play at that level, nothing will.
And there's a lot of girls, young ladies who have gone on to do that. You've touched a lot of those different programs one way or another, and you're having a big impact at Lubbock Cooper right now. I told you this when we were off the air. You guys have changed quite a bit. When you first got here, your first year, you had to play kind of slow. Absolutely. I remember you getting on your guys for too many 3-point shots. Yes. And now last year, I remember watching you early in the year, and you were like, shoot it. I was like, who's this guy dressed up like Will Flemons? That's just evolution. And high school is a little bit different. You can't stick to one system because you don't get to go out and, let me rephrase that, you're not supposed to go out and recruit players. So
correct.
How much did you have to learn being in this environment? And you coached in Houston before, so that's a whole different world too.
It is. Well, any time that you're coaching, especially at the high school level, you can't just say, okay, this is my style of coaching, because you're going to get different players in your program, and you have to adapt to their skill and skill set. And we've had some guys, we've been fortunate at Lubbock Cooper to have some size, and this year we don't have a lot of size, we have a lot of skill, so we're pushing the tempo a little bit. We're getting the ball up a little quicker, trying to get a quicker, better shot, but we're still looking for great shot selection. And we've got little things put into our secondary that can get us open a lot sooner. So we're taking those shots, and we work on them every day in practice. If you work on them in practice, I'm seeing you're developing those shots, I'm going to give you the green light. One of the things I always tell them, I said, if you miss 2 or 3 of them, do something different. It didn't mean stop shooting. If you're shooting outside and you're missing, get to the rack. But we still want to be on that attack. And we have to. If we're going to be successful this year, we have to speed the game up a little bit.
I'm going to guess you still work on post moves.
Absolutely, every day.
Are you working on those with guys?
Oh, I do as much as I can. Like we have morning practice, and then we bring them back after school from 4 to about 5:15, and we have post and guard practice. I'll bring the post down there. We're working on fundamentals, chin and check, drop step, whole 9 yards.
I saw a video of Mike Moffitt, your volleyball coach, dunking the basketball. Has he tried to talk you into putting that on video yet?
He has not, but we talk for pretty regular. But no, he always talks about the days that he was with Andy Ellis and all those guys, because that's when the time he went to Tech and stuff. And I was like, yeah, that was a goofy group.
Lubbock Cooper has started their season. They hit the road this weekend, and we'll see them soon in district play. We'll come back on a 100.7 The Score with the Patriot Fan Zone after this break.